All right, hello everyone. My name is Jada Morrison. I'm a Cannabis Studies major and a student assistant with the Cannabis Studies Lab, and I have been for the past 3 years. It's been an amazing opportunity to see the growth of the symposium each year as I've attended this school. I would like to start off with a huge thank you to our funders, Research Legacy Fund, and the Campbell Foundation for their support, as well as a thank you to our devoted panelists for all being here, with a shout out to our Cannabis Studies faculty members and our speakers, all Cal Poly Humboldt grown. I'm so thankful for Dan Marr and my classmates I can work alongside and can gladly call my friends. They will also be the peeps and the yellow staff badges who can help you out throughout the day. I would also like to take a big thank you to the Native American Studies Department for allowing us to take space here today in the Native American Forum. We acknowledge that Cal Poly Humboldt is located on the unceded lands of the Wiyot people. We honor them and all neighboring lands and tribes by our ongoing commitment to the Native American Studies program, to developing trusting, reciprocal, and long-lasting partnerships. Please check out Native American Studies program, the Food Sovereignty Lab, and Traditional Ecological Knowledges Institute, as they have regular events and volunteer opportunities for students and community members alike. Speaking of this newly found community, this symposium can be a reflection of that sentiment. We hold this event to come together to evolve a community definition of environmental stewardship through the perspectives of regenerative agriculture and social equity. After years of drastic change and societal whirlwinds, we need dedicated communities to gather together, and I truly believe that we all have different ways we can help out one another and build a mutually beneficial foundations for the generations to come. Reaching out for help definitely isn't easy, but in order to move forward, we must be ready to look beyond ourselves, and I guarantee you will find an open hand. And if we fail, hey, at least we're gonna do it together. Back to the game plan. Today we will be on a tight schedule, so we ask that you please maintain respect during panel discussions and speaker presentations. There will be a Q&A at the end of every panel, so do not fret. We just ask that you keep your comments brief and your questions concise. Panel moderators will repeat their questions so that everyone here in the forum and online can hear it. Today's event is being live streamed and recorded, and it will be posted on YouTube at Cannabis Studies Lab. Here's the schedule for the day and what is to come. On top of this, my amazing classmate and coworker, Celeste Davis, will be holding street podcast interviews right out there throughout the day. So we invite you to stop by the booth and give us your perspective on what brought you to the symposium, what are some challenges and opportunities, and what are limitations of a robust cannabis industry. Additionally, there are bathrooms right outside the doors and in the BSS as well, right across the way. There are also water filling fountains if you have any needs for that. Thank you all for being here, and it's a pleasure to have you all, and I'm stoked for what the day has to offer. All right, next for today we have Alex Barber coming to talk about the Cannabis Studies Lab.
Hello everyone, and thank you for attending our 3rd annual Cannabis and Environmental Stewardship Symposium. We have heard your requests for more student participation, and it is my honor to be one of those students in front of you today. My name is Alex Barber, and I have been a student in the Cannabis Studies program for the past 2 years. I'll be graduating next semester, and I'm going to be using this opportunity to give you all a snippet of some of the work that we do in the Cannabis Studies Lab. For the first 2 years, the Cannabis Studies Lab and the work done in it was spearheaded by Dr. Dominic Corva. With a $2.7 million grant by the DCC, he employed and supervised 10 student assistants on the Legacy Cannabis Genetics Project, in which they documented the social history and stewardship of specific cannabis cultivars across California while developing and establishing a new multidisciplinary model of community-based participatory research. During the 2nd year of the lab's operation, I transferred to Cal Poly Humboldt with a degree in history and met Dominic Corva and decided to switch majors instantly. After beginning my work in the lab, I realized that there was so much more going on than meets the eye. We were receiving funding from the Campbell Foundation to plan this symposium and the ones before it, and funding from the Resource Legacy Foundation to produce, edit, and publish different things on social media, and as well as our regular podcasts that we have going. We have multiple other projects in the lab that allow the students to pick up and practice hands-on technical skills that they have and benefit for our community. Dominic helped build a community not just in the lab, but outside of it. And, sorry. Dominic has done so much for the lab, and it's a shame that he isn't here today. But Dan Marr has picked up a lot of the responsibilities that Dominic had and made sure that as students, we have had support and leadership throughout this program. He has worked tirelessly to extend the publicity of the program and this symposium through campus previews, open houses, and various other events that allow people to come and see the work that we do in the lab on a day-to-day basis. The work that we do in the Cannabis Studies Lab this year would not be possible without the determination of Dan Marr to see all of us succeed. In addition to some of the research and projects done in the lab, the space is also made available to all of the major students and minor students as a safe place to study, work on projects, attend online classes, or just mingle with our peers, which is an important part of the college experience. For me personally, the lab was essential to my adjustment to a new town and a new community, and I was welcomed with open arms. I'm a better person for the relationships that I've cultivated in the lab, and I'm thankful to call many of the people my friends. We know a lot of you have traveled a far distance to be with us, but we do want to invite you to come to the Cannabis Studies Lab, the Brett Hart House, at 12 to 2 p.m. to see some of the work that we do. We'll have student assistants available to talk to you about our different projects, and we hope to see you there. Thank you.
All right, next we have Ellis Bibbo coming to talk about the Cannabis Studies program. Students is what I meant.
Alrighty. Hi, thank you, Jada. So yeah, hi, thank you all for coming out today. Like Jada said, my name is Ellis, and I am one of the student leads for the symposium. I'm taking this opportunity to highlight the rest of my team here today. So yeah, Alex, who you guys just saw, is my co-lead. She's been helping with planning and logistics for this year's symposium. We have Matthias, Sunny, and Celeste, our wonderful AV team, who are making this all run so smoothly today. If you do for some reason have to leave early, like Jada said, they will be live streaming the whole event, so you won't have to miss anything. But if you can say, I do highly, highly recommend. We have a lot of cool stuff planned. Next, as you've met, we have Jada, our lovely MC and social media liaison. She's been putting together all of the cool Instagram posts you guys have been liking. If you have not, I highly do encourage you to go follow our Instagram. It is just at Cannabis Studies Lab, if you want to keep supporting us. So yeah, check it out so you won't miss anything. We do a lot of cool stuff, like the symposium, so we post all of those events. And then last, but certainly not least, we have all of our student assistants helping out today. We have Coco, Everett, Drea, Mason, and Jordan. They are here to help answer any questions you guys need or just anything you may need. Look out for anyone wearing these staff lanyards, and we can help you guys out. So all of the students that I just mentioned are integral parts of the Cannabis Studies program and lab, and we have spent a lot of time preparing this event for you all today. We are here because in one way or another, we have a passion for cannabis, and we have spent however many years dedicating our education to it. And I believe you're all here for a similar reason. This is an incredibly interesting plant, and there are so many amazing different conversations that we are gonna have today. But aside from the conversations with the panels and the speakers, I want to encourage you all, students and everyone else that we have visiting today, to speak to each other during these breaks. There is so much knowledge and passion in this room, and this is one of the best spaces that we have to share it with each other. I also want to thank our funders, Resource Legacy Fund and Campbell Foundation. Without their support, we would not have been able to host this event for you guys. I want to thank all of the panelists and the speakers for coming out today and sharing their time with us. And finally, I want to thank Dan Marr for believing in us students and giving us the opportunity to shape this program into the best version of itself. I hope you all enjoy what we have prepared for you today, and I hope you have fun.
All right, next up we have Josh Mizell, who is the Department Chair of Sociology and Cannabis Studies Program Director. There you go. You want to hold that?
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. I'm a teacher, so I don't know if I need the mic, but maybe I do. I'm the chair of the Department of Sociology, and I just want to briefly tell you how I came to this topic. I was a student at Humboldt State University back in 1985, and I walked into a store on the plaza, outdoor rec store, the outdoor store as it was called, and there at on the counter was a brochure that I still have up in my office. It says Outdoor Alert, warning folks going into the backcountry of the dangers of running into cannabis growers, warning of booby traps and snare lines and how dangerous it could be. And me and my buddies were all mountain biking, but we were also smoking a lot of weed, as many students back in the mid-'80s were doing. And it was inconsistent with what I understood of this place. And that memory was planted in my mind. And then when I returned to Cal Poly Humboldt back in 2001, I began to ask questions about the stories that are told about this place and people involved in this industry and people who consume the plant and people who study the plant. And I never would have imagined in my wildest dreams that in 2026 we'd have the 3rd annual Cannabis and Environmental Stewardship Symposium, and Cal Poly Humboldt is the only university in the United States that has a program that centers environmental stewardship and policy stewardship in the study of cannabis. We are unique in that regard, and it makes a lot of sense that it's here, especially when we think about the origin stories of cannabis in this place. So I just wanted to briefly tell you about the Cannabis Studies program, and just to quickly say that we've placed a lot of handouts on the table where there's a trifold, flyers about the program. As I said, this is a unique program. It launched in fall 2023. As Alex shared, this was a program that was developed with my collaborator, Dr. Dominic Corva. We've done a lot of work over the years, and in fact, he was one of our first speakers that came to Cal Poly Humboldt after we formed the Humboldt Institute for Interdisciplinary Marijuana Research. We have 2 concentrations, environmental and policy stewardship. And this cannabis studies degree was a part of Cal Poly, or Humboldt State University, I should say at the time, becoming a polytechnic university. It was one of the first 3 programs as part of that rollout. That's really important to remember. So it's distinctive in that regard. And as I said, it is the first and only cannabis studies 4-year degree, and we're really excited about that. And I just want to take a moment to applaud our students that have been so courageous in coming to Cal Poly Humboldt and studying this field, this novel field. It's so different than a student coming into a university and studying psychology or business. It's new, it's novel, and I want to give them a round of applause. And lots of love and thanks have been shared with the Campbell Foundation, Resource Legacy Foundation, as well as Dan Marr for his leadership in stepping in. Just want to highlight some of the classes we teach, and the program description again is out on the the table outside. These are courses that are being offered this fall. Intro to Cannabis Studies, Humboldt and Cannabis, Medical Cannabis Studies, Cannabis and Social Equity, Cannabis Regulatory and Environmental Requirements, obviously very germane to the topic of this symposium. These are courses that are available to anybody who would like to take through Open University. Let's go to the next slide. And in this summer, actually, William Dolphin, who is one of our presenters, will be teaching online medical cannabis studies. You can scan the QR code if you want to learn about registering for the class. And if we go to the last slide, again, here is my email address, myzel@humboldt.edu. I'd be happy to talk with anybody who's interested in the program. And I just want to, again, thank all of you for being here. I think this is such an important sharing opportunity to share and hopefully move the conversation forward. So thank you all.
All right, next we have Sean with the Cooperative Agriculture Network coming to talk about the strategic doing session happening this Saturday. It might be easier if you clip it to your shirt. Be a little closer now.
Let's see. Check, check, 1, 2. Is that better?
Maybe.
Hello, hello.
I might have to project.
Howdy, howdy. Yeah, I'm Sean Sherry with the Cooperative Agricultural Network, and I think also a couple of my colleagues here, Cara Cardoni, Nicole Riggs, and a few of my other colleagues, which are on their way. Indy and Tobin are on their way, and they'll be here tomorrow for our strategic doing session. And what is strategic doing? I'll tell you. So the first year of the symposium, I was really inspired about just all the conversation that was really just awesome that happened. And I was like, I wanted to get something done. How do we get something done out of this? And I got to bring that with our group here and the Cooperative Agricultural Network. We decided we were actually brought this methodology from Purdue University, and it basically helps bring disparate groups that have almost like no connection to each other into actual actionable projects. And that's what we're bringing to you tomorrow. And if you want to, and if you're available tomorrow at 10 a.m., for our strategic doing session, that's what we'll be doing, is taking all of our collective assets and our knowledge and our skill share and basically just inventing, incubating projects. And make sure I touch base on everything. Yeah, we expect people to come from around 10 a.m. and we'll finish around 1:30, and hope to have was essentially a 30 on 30 commitments on every month from after that. So we'll just be meeting with our project groups from that strategic doing session for 30 minutes every 30 days. Then just to continue on those project pathwards until we get it done. And yeah, it's a really fun time, and you kind of learn how to, especially if you're not into project management or how to like get stuff done, it's a really interesting methodology and toolkit for taking inspiration and putting it into action. So yeah, again, I want to invite you all to RSVP. Our Eventbrite link is there, and you can also find us at cancoop.org, and we have an Eventbrite link there. Yeah, thank you so much for the Cannabis Studies Lab, Dan, and everything. Appreciate y'all.